What's going on? Hey, everybody. It is Camille Aiko, and I hope that you are living the life that you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. So happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to everyone who is in the U.S. Hope that you guys take this time to relax, enjoy your labor, okay? If you're going out to spend time with your family, make sure you really have a good time. No drama, stress-free, all of that. So we are talking about Are All Your Pieces in Place? And we have been doing the book study right here by Glenda Feilen. So really ask yourself on today, like, am I emotionally in control of my life? Am I emotionally in control of my life? You know, there are some people who live their life on the roller coaster of emotions. They're up, they're down, they're everywhere. They can't really get it together. Right? They're angry, they're sad, they're happy, they're mad, and this can all happen in a very short time frame. Right? Then we might have the people who don't even want to acknowledge that their emotional self exists. And it's kind of like they're emotionless. They don't like to show any emotion. It just is what it is. They're like these hardcore type of people. You guys know anybody like that? Thanks, Wilbert, for dropping that one, because I definitely forgot to say that. So if you are watching this live, you're going to join in. Make sure you drop a 1 below. And if you are catching this on replay, make sure you drop a 2 below. And if you want to, let us know where you're chiming in from as well, right? So we've got the emotional roller coaster people. We've got the people who act like their emotions don't even exist. And then we have like the people who are like one extreme or the other, but they really only have two emotions. Either they're like super, or they're very low, right? Like they go so high, they burn themselves out, and then they go very low. So today we are going to talk about our emotional self and how do we actually exercise it. And so within this book, let me give you guys, if you haven't been tuning in, let me just give you a brief recap on this book. So this book is really talking about how we are more than just a physical self, but there's actually 5 different parts to us and how we need to nourish each part of us and how we need to exercise each part. So our physical self is literally just helping us to get where it is that we need to go. But that typically is the part of us that gets most of the attention, right? We spend time on buying products for our hair, cosmetic products, deodorant, right? And of course those things are important. We don't want to neglect our bodies. However, we spend so much time on the physical self that we neglect or ignore the other parts of us, like our mental self. And so on day 1 and day 2, we talked about what was the nourishment and the exercise that we needed in order to have a healthy mental state of mind. And then we began on Friday to really talk about what it takes for us to nourish our emotional self. And so today we're talking about how we are actually going to exercise our emotional self so that we can get ourselves under control. Because what most of us don't realize is that your emotional self actually has so much to do with your physical health. And when you really realize how much that works together, I guarantee you will begin to think about how you take care of your emotional self just a little bit differently. Okay? So again, we're in Are All Your Pieces in Place by Glenda Feilen. And for those of you who are on my business page, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am the founder of Infuse LLC, where we believe that love is a transformative power, and we spend our time helping people to transform their lives through love. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into it, all right? So I've already been saying that just because you can't see your emotional self doesn't mean that you should neglect your emotional self, right? When we understand that your emotional self has something to do and is interconnected with all other parts, your mental, your physical, your vibrational, your spiritual, which I forgot to mention those other parts of the body. So there's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the vibrational, the spiritual. So this is what we're discussing in the book, how to nourish it and then how to exercise it. Okay. Now that I've got that rambling overview over, let's go back to getting into it. All right, so we have to take care of our physical selves. And just as we take care of our physical selves, we need to make sure that we take care of our emotional self. And so on Friday, we really talked about how our words is what nourishes our emotional self, and how to speak affirmations and how to speak it properly so that what we are speaking into our life actually comes to pass, it actually manifests. So, there's a scripture that says that we have the power of life and death in our tongues, right? And so, of course, that was a paraphrase. It's not exactly how the scripture goes, but this book is really drawing out that point, that we can literally speak ourselves to a physical death as well as a spiritual death, or a physical life or a spiritual life, depending upon the words that we actually say. And that is very, very powerful. And we actually talked about it on Friday. So make sure you guys go back and check out day 3. But we talked about how there are actually diseases that are connected to the words that we speak and the emotions that we feel. And so we're actually going to go into that a little bit more on today. So you guys make sure you stick with me. All right. So if you don't exercise your emotional self, or you deny that it exists, your toxic emotions build up and eventually will create illness. Emotional exercise helps eliminate these emotional toxins from the cells, but we also have to replace the negative emotions with the opposite. So if we are deciding, hey, you know what, I'm going to get my negative emotions together, I'm going to get myself under emotional control, we can't just say, okay, I'm going to get rid of the negative. It's not enough just to get rid of the negative. You have to decide that you are going to replace the negative with the positive. And this isn't something that just happens out of thin air. This is something that you work on daily. Just like if people want to get in the gym, or you just want to do more physical exercise, you want to see a transformation in your body, it's not just one thing that you do one time and then it's magically going to happen, right? We can't just go throughout the day and say, okay, well, I ate healthy one day, like many of us do, right? We just want to eat salad one day and then we're like looking to see how much weight we lost. Like, of course, clearly I lost some weight because I didn't eat anything today. Or we do a couple squats and then we're looking in the mirror like, hey, check out my glutes, right? No, it doesn't work that way. And just as it doesn't work that way physically, it doesn't work that way emotionally as well. Okay. And so this is something that we have to exercise on a daily basis. And so I'm going to give you guys some exercises from the book that you can do to make sure that you get yourself in emotional control, and because it's so key. All right. So release and let go, because what you radiate inside, you're also attracting, right? So what you have inside, you radiate outside towards other people, and then you actually attract what you are radiating. So let's say, for instance, you are an angry person. You're holding on to these grudges, and what you're doing is you're radiating that out to other people. And you know the saying that says misery loves company? Well, guess what? You are attracting more misery. And then you're wondering why your life is not getting any better, why you're not achieving the success that you want, why you don't have the love relationship that you want, why you don't have the joy that you want, why you don't have the happiness that you want. It's because you on the inside, you're not whole. You're not healed. You're not at peace. You don't exuberate love. You don't radiate joy. And so what's coming back to you is exactly what you're putting out. And so the reason why you're staying in that down place in your life is because you have not worked on yourself internally. You have spent much time in the mirror making sure that your hair was cut right. You have spent much time in the mirror putting on that makeup. You have spent much time going out to go buy those clothes and those outfits, but you have not spent much time working on your inner self. And your inner self needs to be worked on daily. If you want to achieve your goals, if you want to make it to a place in your life where you're really creating the life that you love, you've got to work on you. And the more that you become the better you, the more you are going to have the life that you absolutely love and that you want to experience, okay? Now, if this is making sense to you guys, drop some hearts, drop some likes, let me know that this is helpful. Share this out to other people because I know they need it, so don't be stingy with the shares either, okay? So now, let's see, where am I at? You forgive not out of weakness, but out of strength. And I love the way that she puts it in the book. So if you get the book, it's on page 88. Okay. Let me get to it. It says, you forgive not out of weakness, but out of strength. It takes courage to let go of anger, resentment, negative emotions. Listen to this, y'all, even if the offender doesn't deserve forgiveness, you, the offended, deserve to free yourself from the burden you're carrying and the pain you feel. Forgiveness is the only way to do this, right? Some of us are mad at people. We're holding on to things that we need to release. And it may not even necessarily be for the other person, but it's for you. It's for the peace of mind so that you don't have to wake up every day thinking about it. Randomly throughout the day, it pops up in your mind because it's got such a hold on your mental thought and it's controlling your emotions, okay? So I was actually watching this video. Can't think of the woman's real name. Hubert. Miss Hubert is the last name. But she played Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince, right? And so she has been holding on to anger against Will Smith for all of these years because she has claimed that he ruined her career and pretty much like nobody would work with her in the industry because of what Will Smith said about her. And now that has been 2 decades ago, but she has not let it go. And it's still impacting her life. And I'm not saying that who is wrong or right in the situation, whether it's her, whether it's Will Smith, but she just recently put out this long video, 15-minute video. So that's relative, right? When we say long. But she put out this video and it's just like, you know what, Will? You ruined my life. You ruined my child's life. She's just going off and she's like, and you're just this horrible person. And you could just feel, like you could feel her anger radiating out of that video. And I thought to myself, if for nothing else, baby, you need to forgive Will so that you can radiate something else in your life. Like, stop blaming that man. Like, I know that he could have said something to have hurt your career, but by the fact that you held on to that and you continue to hold on to that grudge, you're radiating that out and people feel it. They don't want to be connected to you because they feel like, okay, well, you know what? If anything happens in our relationship, this is how you're going to act, whether it's right or wrong, right? So this is why we've got to get it together. You can only attract to yourself which you are. So look at the people in your life. Look at the situations in your life. Are you happy with what you have? Because if not, stop blaming them. Take a look at you. Take a look at your life. Take a look at what you are radiating. Take a look at what you're feeling. Okay? And again, we're going to go over some exercises in order to make sure that we're doing that properly. So the first exercise that is in the book, and I'm just going to I got an itchy nose today, y'all. So I'm sorry I keep itching my nose in front of you, okay? All right. So let me see here. Just checking to make sure I didn't have any comments that I needed to respond to. Okay, so the mirror exercise, all right? The mirror exercise. Grab your mirror. You don't actually have to physically grab a mirror. I just did it because I'm doing this live and I don't have one near me. But if this could be in your bedroom, if you have a mirror in your bedroom or in your bathroom, you need to do the mirror exercise every day. And we talked a little bit about this on Friday, but we're going to go more into it on today. So literally look at yourself, which we all typically look at ourselves in the mirror at least once a day, right? But look at yourself in the mirror and look deeply into yourself. Look deeply into your eyes and tell yourself, I love you. And really look at yourself until you begin to believe it. And this is actually more difficult for a lot of people because they don't love themselves. But if we want to get to a point where we can forgive, if we want to get to a point where we can allow things to be released and we want to be able to live our best lives, we have to learn how to love ourselves deeply, because it's going to take a deep love for ourselves to be able to say, I am willing to release the anger or, you know, the feelings of hurt and pain that you have caused me, not necessarily for them, but because you want to be healed, because you don't want to get to a place where you have caused yourself sickness in your body. Let me back up, because we got to go over some of the sicknesses and things that you can incur because of a negative emotional health, okay? So Glenda, again, who is the author of the book, she says, my personal research has led me to conclude that not only do specific emotions affect the body in general, but specific emotions affect specific parts of your body. So how you are feeling, different emotions that you conjure up within yourself actually affect different parts of your body, okay? So for instance, she says the breast area is a major nurturing area dealing with insensitivity and similar nurturing issues. How the affected person perceives the problem and wherever the blame or guilt rests in that person's toxic emotional creation determines whether the health imbalance is on the right or the left side of the body. The right side represents problems with a male or male issue. So sometimes if you have issues on the right side of your body based off of how you've been feeling, then it is because that maybe you've had an absent father, or maybe there was a male who abused you. When you have issues in your body on the right hand side, then she is saying that it's typically come from a male issue. So maybe you got to check back over your life and say, okay, well, what is it that I need to clear up? Who do I need to forgive? Who violated me that I need to deal out and work through this issue so that I can heal my body physically, right? The left side represents a problem with a female or a female issue. Perhaps after a divorce, a woman would suddenly find that she has a breast tumor on her right side, and another woman she would find she had one on the left. The woman on the right breast problem could feel that she lacked nurturing and was rejected by the male who caused the problem, whereas the woman on the left breast problem might feel she failed as a woman and blames herself for the nurturing lack, thus affecting her left female side. Guys, oh my goodness, right? When we think about our emotions and wonder, okay, well, why do I have these migraine headaches? Why do I have lumps in my breast? Why do I have anxiety and I have the shakes? Why do I have these different things that go on? It could very well be because of the emotions that you have allowed to go on in your life. Now think about this. Most of us suffer from some type of trauma that happened in our childhood, and now we are adults and we never dealt with the trauma that happened in our childhood. So now we have gone all of these years and it's been impacting our body, and then one day we're in the hospital and we're like, why in the world? How did this happen? But I live a decent life. You haven't dealt with yourself emotionally. You haven't dealt with yourself on the inside, and so now it is manifesting. It's not like this thing just popped up. No, that thing has been there, but now it's just now coming to a point where it's manifesting outwardly in your body. But this has been something you've been dealing with. So guys, take a good introspective look at yourself and say, where do I need to forgive? Who do I need to let go? Who do I need to release? What negative feelings do I need to let go of? Because it's not only impacting who you are emotionally, it's impacting you physically, it's impacting your mental thought. You don't have peace, you stay distracted, you're focused on the wrong things. And if you want to get it right, you're going to have to take a look and be really honest and genuine with yourself about what is going on in your life. So every part of the body represents a different emotion or vibration. A shoulder problem usually indicates the person resents shouldering certain responsibilities. You guys ever been stressed out and you really just feel the stress? Like right here in your shoulders is because you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. But as soon as you become unstressed, so does that pain. It goes away just like that, right? This is why. So an upper neck back problem most frequently occurs in those who are inflexible in their thinking and in their dealings with others. Lower back problems often occur around retirement time because that's when people often face financial instability. Mid-lower back areas relate to survival and financial hardships. So you're feeling a lot of pain in your back. Maybe you're thinking too much and worrying too much about your finances. Maybe you need to come up with a plan that is going to help you to overcome those financial barriers and those financial issues that you are experiencing in your life, because not only is it causing a problem in your bank account and your emotional self, but also on your back. Okay? And now your back is strained. Now you're going to the doctor. Now you can't run around with your kids. Now you can't do anything that you used to because you feel like, oh, I'm just getting old and I'm decrepit and I'm this and I'm that. No, it's really not any of that. It's the matter that you are not taking care of your emotional self. And because you're not taking care of your emotional self, yes, you are decrepit, but it's not because of old age. It's because you have neglected who you are on the inside. We focus too much on the physical when daily we should be working on who we are inside of this physical body. This physical body literally doesn't do much for us, okay? This physical body simply helps us to achieve what it is that we were purposed here to do, what we were put here to do. Our physical body helps us to achieve our goals, so it's important that we take care of it, but we can't even begin to get to our goals if we haven't taken a good look at our inner selves, okay? I'm going to give you guys two more, but I mean, she goes into like the arms, the hands, the abdominal area, everything, okay? So, but let's talk about the abdominal area. So the abdominal area holds frustration, worry, confusion, indecision, all these emotions. Like, y'all ever had a decision you had to make and you just have a knot in your stomach, right? You just feel it, right? That's your emotional self having an impact on you physically. All these emotions create a negative effect on internal abdominal organs, the small intestines and the large bowel. Frequently, those who hold their problems in have trouble with their bowels. They hold on to things and become constipated, and then you need to call me because you need some detox tea, right? Or you're wondering, well, why in the world am I in the hospital? Why do I have to take a laxative every day? Like, what is it that you need to work on in your body? The ovaries, ladies, let me talk to you. Ovaries represent communication. Communication problems with males will occur on the right side, and with those females will occur on the left side. Uterus and prostate problems most frequently occur when the person is involved in an unsatisfying relationship or one that's physically, mentally, or emotionally abusive. Eye and ear problems can be seen when the afflicted person doesn't want to see or hear something in his or her life. Guys, emotional distress, emotional toxicity is so key to making sure that you actually have good physical health. So if you don't exercise your emotional self or deny the fact that it even exists, and I'm on page 87 if you guys ever get this book and want to read it, deny the fact that it even exists, your toxic emotional buildup, similar to your physical toxic buildup, will eventually create illness. So, Camille, why are we talking about this? This is why. Because if we want to live our best life, if we want to be able to travel the world, if we, maybe you don't want to travel the world. Maybe you just want to be able to play with your kids. Maybe you want to be able to play with your nieces and nephews. Maybe you want to give more to your church. Maybe you want to give more to nonprofit organizations. Then you have to take a look at what is going on with you internally, because what you are doing internally is impacting you physically. Okay? All right. So let me get back now to those exercises that we were talking about. All right. So the first was the mirror exercises. Grab your mirror, because this is how we're going to begin to love ourselves deeply. This is how we are going to begin to forgive ourselves for some of the actions that we have taken. And we are, like I stated before, is that in order for us to truly forgive and to move beyond, we have to love ourselves deeply. Because it's not always going to be for the person who offended us, because they're not going to be sorry. Some of them won't even apologize. And some of them will give you some fake apology that you know ain't real, right? Because then you can tell in their actions. But guess what? You still got to show love anyway. And most importantly, you have to show love to yourself. Because if you don't, then you will live a life of anger. And one day in your body, what is going to manifest is the emotions that you have held on to that your body just could not take anymore, right? That's why they say Monday mornings is typically when the most heart attacks occur, because people are stressed out about going to work. It's emotions. They're not in emotional control, right? So you grab your mirror and you look at yourself deeply and you tell yourself, I love you. I love you. And you do this daily. Do this daily. Why? Because people are going to mess with you daily. They're going to get on your nerves daily. And you have to have a deep transformative love for yourself, intense love for yourself daily, in order to overcome those people who are going to work your last nerve. And then once you do that, you can begin to forgive them and love them, because you know that if you don't, then it's going to impact you, right? This is why the Bible tells us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. All right? Okay. So we got that. Now let's go a step further, okay? In order to get a little deeper appreciation of who you are, because some of you might be like, Camille, you don't know the type of life that I've lived. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've done to other people, or you don't know what I've allowed other people to do to me. So what you have to say is, you know what? Grab your mirror, right? You have to say, I forgive myself for, and then name off 7 different things that you forgive yourself for. Okay? So maybe it's, I forgive myself for being in that unhealthy, toxic relationship for 5 years. I forgive myself for staying on the job that I know was not my calling or my purpose. I forgive myself for, and you go through and you list those things that you forgive yourself for, and you do it every day. And how you know that you'll truly begin to forgive yourself is that it won't come up anymore. And then you'll know that you need to move on to the next thing, and you can change your list up. But you say it, and you say it until you believe it for yourself. The other thing that you can do while you're looking in your mirror is take some time and say 7 things that you appreciate about yourself. Like, I appreciate that you were able to step out and start your own business. I appreciate the fact that you care about your family, right? But you're talking about yourself. Like, we often look outside to the world to give us appreciation and recognition and all of that stuff, when really where it truly comes from is from in here. Because it doesn't matter what other opinions of people are, and it matters what is coming from you. And so while it's great to get outside recognition and accolades from other people, they are not you, and they don't control you. So you have to learn how to appreciate yourself. So that way, when you're out and about, what you are radiating is appreciation. What you are radiating is gratefulness. What you are radiating is love and joy. And then what you will attract back to you are those very things that you were radiating out, right? So then the other thing that you can do is you can say, look at yourself in the mirror, right? And you're saying, I am committed to. And then you name off 7 goals that you are committed to accomplishing, right? I am committed to doing Facebook Lives. I am, whatever your commitment is going to be, I am committed to doing 4 mission trips a year. I am committed to, and you name those things off, because the more you begin to speak it, and the more you begin to hear yourself, the more you're going to begin to believe it, and the more you affirm it in your life, and you can take action, and it's going to manifest. And you're creating the life that you love, and you're not focused on the negative things. You're not focused on the fact that you hate your job right now. You're not focused on the fact that your kids get on your nerves. You're not focused on the fact that you and your spouse aren't getting along. You're not focused on the fact that you're single and wonder, why in the world am I single? Because I know I got it going on. Like, I know my ducks are in a row, right? But you're just like, what is happening? So you can't focus on that stuff. You have to focus on the positive, and you have to focus on creating the life that it is that you want, okay? So let's go over a few more exercises. I'm not going to go over all of them. If you want them, I can get them to you, so you can drop it below that you want the exercises, or just message me in my inbox and I will get that to you, okay? But guys, if this stuff is making any sense to you, hey, what's going on, Pat? Just make sure that you drop a heart, a like, a love, or something, anything, okay? So now let's talk about a forgiveness exercise, okay? This is a simple way that you can forgive. You can write a letter to the person who has wronged you, okay? All right, put your feelings of hurt in it. Tell them how you feel and why you feel that way. Then to the same degree, tell them that you forgive them and that you're willing to change your feelings towards them. Because see, here's the thing. There might be some people, let me see, what's the name of the book? It's Are All Your Pieces in Place by Glenda Feilen. There's some people that you guys need to forgive. There are some people that I need to forgive that I'm not going to talk to. Maybe they might be dead, right? Some people are holding on to some grudges and things with people, and the people are no longer alive. But you still have to deal with that because it's still bothering you. There's still anger inside. You know, maybe it's one of your parents that passed and you're just like angry with them. You're angry that they left you. You're angry that they didn't show you the love that you wanted them to show. You're angry because something happened, but guess what? They're gone. But you still have to work on that inner you, right? So write a letter, put down all your emotions, put it all down on paper, and then turn around and with that same intensity say, I forgive you. I forgive you, right? And then write, I fully and freely forgive you. I let go and let God's love do its perfect work in me, through me, and for me. I let go and let God's love do its perfect work in the conscious and subconscious activities of my mind, body, and affairs. I give thanks for the peace, health, prosperity, and happiness which are mine now. And then you burn or you destroy it and you let it go. And you let it go. The person you've written, you know, maybe they are alive, right? And maybe they just feel that you have released them. Great, because what we put off, people, they feel that. We feel how other people feel towards us, right? And maybe when you release this will give them the courage to also release. And then you guys end up becoming friends, right? Like on some petty stuff. Like I know there are some females who we didn't like each other back in the day, you know, just real petty, you know, I'm sure it was over some man, right? And now we can speak, we can be cool. Why? Because we released each other. And no one even necessarily said sorry, and we never really, because it was like the hidden elephant in the room, right? But we knew what the problem was. But nobody necessarily said, I'm sorry. But it was just kind of like we grew and we matured and we began to love ourselves. And so therefore, we didn't even have to say anything. It's just like, you know, we can connect and we can be mature and we can forgive each other and we can appreciate each other for who we are as grown, mature adults, right? All right. So another exercise, a relationship healing exercise. Make sure I don't have any comments here. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Again, drop some hearts, some likes, some loves. If this is making sense to you, tag some people, share this out. Because people need this. I know they do. All right. So message them if you don't want it on your wall, whatever the case is. But help people, or at least share the information, because that's our responsibility. That once we get it, we got to pass it on. There's too many people out here suffering. Literally, they are suffering. They're wanting to kill themselves. They are speaking negativity into their lives, and they don't even understand that the problem is them. Right? Relationship healing exercise. Number 1, relax and clear your mind. Sit or stand in a room, eyes open or closed based on which is more effective for you. Imagine a person standing or sitting in front of you, whoever the person is that you need to have this healing relationship with. Speak to the person with love and feel love towards that person. And it might be hard at first, so sit there until you can. So you might need to set an hour, 2 hours, however much time you need, right? You set that time aside and you sit there until you can really visualize them, and you're standing there or you're sitting there with this person that you need to forgive, that you need to release, that you need to let go of, right? And speak and feel love towards them. The missionary that I went to Haiti with, I loved her, and you guys have heard me, if you follow my lives and things, you've heard me talk about her before. About one of the top things that I learned about her is that she learned to love something about everybody, and that's what she focused on. And that's how she was able to be so effective with people, is because she didn't focus on the negativity about them. She focused on the positive things about them, right? And so that's what we have to do. When we do this exercise, we're relaxing our mind, we're imagining the person, and we're focusing on the positive things. I don't care if they dress nice. Right? I was watching this video of Aretha Franklin, and they were asking her about what she thought about different current day artists, and they got to Nicki Minaj, and not even, she just didn't say anything, right? So if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, but sit there until you can say something nice. But I think it might have been like Taylor Swift, and Aretha was like, gowns? She has nice gowns, right? So even if it's just the clothes that the person might wear, if you don't have anything else positive, think on that. Right? So that's what we're doing. Tell that person the highest and best about them, and that you truly love him or her, and feel it. I know that's going to be a task. Some of y'all need to forgive some exes. You need to forgive those boyfriends, those girlfriends, those ex-wives, those ex-husbands, those ex-bosses, those ex-whatever, those past people. You need to forgive them. You need to let them go. And I know it's going to be tough for you to say, I love you. But this is why you have to exercise it daily. If you want to grow stronger, You're going to have to exercise it daily, honey. You're going to have to get this down and get it down good. So that way it doesn't impact you physically. And you get these unnecessary diseases. All right? Tell that person, I see you as abundant, honest, fulfilled, etc. Whatever it is that you want to say to them. Embrace them. Hug them. And then release them and let them go. Allow that person to embrace you. Express gratitude. Release it from your mind. Do not think or talk negatively about the person afterwards. And then just expect a miracle. Just believe that something positive is going to happen. You know, I had, there was a woman at church on yesterday, and she gave a testimony, and she was just saying, you know what? I had to forgive my child's father. There was so much anger and things that he had done to me that I needed to forgive him for. And she said, you know what? Once I did that, I was able to live in peace. But now this person is actually calling me and giving advice from me. Like, this could have never happened if I didn't forgive, if I didn't let go. Then I wouldn't have been able to love myself. I wouldn't be able to grow. And I wouldn't be in a position now to help them, which is still important because it's still the child's father, right? Which is their child together. And once you understand that the more that you can work together as parents to help your child, the better they're going to be, the better you're going to be, the better our society is going to be, because everybody is working together and we're giving each other good emotional health, which is going to help us physically and mentally and vibrationally and spiritually, right? Okay, so let's talk about another one. Do you guys have a special one you need to do? Maybe a forgiveness activity, or I don't know. Is there something that y'all need to work on? Did she mention the name of the book? Yes, the name of the book is Are All Your Pieces in Place by Glenda Feilen. Are All Your Pieces in Place by Glenda Feilen. And we're actually on chapter 4 right now. Okay? All right. So I'm not seeing anything. So I will give you another forgiveness one, okay? Write this affirmation in the evening before you go to sleep. I fully and freely forgive, fill in the blank. I release you and bless you to your highest good, and you bless me and release me to my highest good. All right. So once you have done that, do that every night, because there might be people that literally get on your nerves every day. Right. So you work on this, you get this down, boom. Maybe you need to make it a ceremony. You know, maybe you need to be in a place where you light a candle and you do any of the techniques that we talked about. And sometimes you need a ceremony to release and end a chapter and officially begin something new in your life. You know, maybe you just really need to work on, or maybe you got out of a horrible relationship, or you got out of a bad job situation, or maybe a business deal went wrong and your business partner just completely violated you. Then maybe you need to sit down and do one of these exercises, and then at the end, you know, you just burn the letter, or you let it go and release it in a balloon. Whatever it is that you have to do, do it and get it done, right? So again, if you want some of those exercises, I can make those available to you guys. So just drop it in the comments and let me know, and I'll be sure to make that happen. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Exercise, cannot physically exercise once a month. Oh yeah. So just as with exercise, you can't physically exercise once a month and feel like, okay, I'm going to be physically fit. Come on, guys. You know, I stated that earlier. That's absolutely not possible. And it's the same way with your emotional health, is that you cannot expect to do this one time and feel like, okay, I'm going to have everything accomplished and I'm going to be in my best emotional health. No, this is something that you have to do on a daily basis, especially at least the mirror exercise. When you look in that mirror, I love you. Camille, I love you, girl. Right? You do it until you can truly, because some people don't love themselves. In fact, a lot of people don't. But you do it until you believe it. You forgive yourself until you truly begin to forgive yourself. You say it. And you talk about what you're committed to until you truly begin to get committed to what it is that you're saying. Or you appreciate yourself until you really begin to believe that you are worthy. You are worthy to be appreciated. You are worthy of recognition. You are worthy to be grateful for. But it starts with you. Like, stop expecting everybody else to give you what you don't even give yourself. Stop expecting everybody else to give you what you don't even give yourself. Give yourself love. Give yourself peace. Give yourself joy. Give yourself happiness. Because once you feel that within you, things will begin to work just like that. And you'll begin to attract everything that you are putting out there. And I'm not saying all your problems are going to go away, but what I'm saying is that you are now going to be equipped with how to work through and deal with those problems that are going to come up in your life and that you're going to experience. So pick a couple of the exercises, do it once a day, do it weekly, but just make sure that you start taking care of yourself emotionally. So if you've been on here, drop a 1 below. Let me know that you caught this live. And if you are catching this on replay, make sure you drop a 2 below. If you want to get the exercises from me, let me know and I will get those to you. You can drop it in the comments or you can message me. Feel free to like, share, love this video. Let me know that this is actually being beneficial to people. And we'll be back at it tomorrow around 12. Y'all know I need to work on my timeliness. Well, we're going to work on that. So around 12, 12:30. But if you don't catch it on replay. So again, my name is Camille Aiko and I hope that you are living the life that you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Guys, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.